Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, a targeted course for Preliminary Examination 2021 Inspire. In Polity section, we are studying Parliament. So, as we have covered the Parliament topics like types of bills in our previous session, then we have covered joint sitting of the House. Yes. So the further information and topics we'll cover in today's session. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on Unacademy, India's largest learning platform, where you will get daily live classes, unlimited access for live and recorded classes, along with structured courses and unlimited practice for live tests. India's best educators will guide you throughout the journey. It's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, guiding UPSC aspirants from last 8 years. You can follow me on Unacademy and you can join our Telegram channel and you can join our Telegram group for daily updates. Yes, here is the big announcement that we are giving mega subscription offer to all aspirants. Those subscription is getting over in this month. So we are providing extended 1 year subscription that is validity till prelims 2022. Yes, and this offer is valid till 31st March 2021. Yes, and here remember that you will get guaranteed subscription till July 31st 2022. Yes friends, so just opt for this extension subscription offer, that is mega subscription offer. Yes, those aspirants are planning to start their preparation with our paid courses. We have plus and iconic subscription. Yes, where you will get 10% discount after using referral code RBI Live. Yes, on optional subscription as well, you will get 10% discount. So, number of aspirants are planning to start their preparation along with general studies. Yes, iconic subscription. Those aspirants pursuing their graduation, they can opt for this iconic subscription where they will get all the features of this plus courses along with personal guidance, expert guidelines, study planner, study material and test analysis. So it's my suggestion to all those aspirants who are pursuing graduation or they are planning to start their preparation after 12th, they can go with our iconic subscription. Yes, recently UPSC has announced Civil Services Examination 2020 main result. Yes, main examination result of CSE 2020. And now those aspirants cleared this main examination, they can start their preparation for the interview guidance program. Yes, Unacademy is providing assistance to all eligible aspirants in the free of cost. Our interview panel and mentors will guide you throughout the preparation for interview. Yes, we will conduct DAF analysis and interviews. Also, we are providing flexible schedule as per your convenience. Yes, along with that, those freshers, we can say, or the aspirants planning to start their preparation, they can opt for combo subscription where they will get huge discount after using referral code RBI Live for this combo subscription. You can opt for 1 year 2-year or 3-year subscription? Yes, we are providing free test series for all aspirants where just you have to use a referral code RBI Live to unlock these tests. Yes, this test series will cover complete general studies and current affairs. These are new batches targeted for UPSC CSE. Yes, and do not forget to enroll yourself for Unacademy Combat, which is scheduled on 20th March in the morning 11 o'clock. Yes, just use referral code RBI Live for registering this Unacademy Combat. Now, we'll start today's session. Yes, now we'll continue with the Article 112, that is Budget in Parliament. Yes, Annual Financial Statement, that is budget, which is mentioned in Article 112 of Indian Constitution. So annual budgeting started in India in 1860. Yes, the term budget has nowhere been used in the Constitution. Rather, refers to the budgets as annual financial statement under Article 112. Yes. So, the budget is a statement of the estimated receipts and expenditure of the government of India in a financial year. Yes. So, basically, budget is a statement of estimated receipts and expenditure of the government of India in a financial year. So, along with other provisions also mentioned in this budget. So, the financial year of Government of India begins on 1st April and ends on 31st March of the following year. Yes. So normally we are calculated financial year from 1st April to the 31st March of the following year. For example, now next financial year is from 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022. Yes. Then budget contains the estimated of revenue and capital receipts, ways and means to raise the revenue, estimates of expenditure, details of the actual receipts and expenditure of the closing financial year and the reasons for any deficit or surplus in that year, economic and financial policy of the coming year. Yes. So, prior to 2017, the government of India had two budgets. Yes, before 2017, the government of India had two budgets. One is railway budget, which consisted of the estimates of receipts and the expenditures of only the Ministry of Railways. And then second is general budget, which consisted of the estimated of receipts and expenditure of all the ministries of the government of India except the railways. So the Ministry of Railways presenting his own budget before 2017. Yes. And another is general budget. Yes. So the railway budget was separated from the general budget in 1924. Yes, before the independence. And the recommendations of the Ackworth Committee report in 1921. Yes, as per the need of that period, the railway budget was separated from the general budget in 1921 on the recommendation of the Ackworth Committee report, which was presented in 1921. And in 2017, recently, the central government merged the railway budget into the general budget. So there is only one budget for the government of India now is called the Union Budget. Yes. So from 2017 onwards, the government of India presenting Union Budget. Now, we'll see the constitutional provisions with respect to budget. Yes, the President. The President shall in respect of every financial year cause to be laid before both the houses of Parliament a statement of estimated receipts and expenditure of the government of India for that year. Yes. Then no demand for a grant shall be made except on the recommendation of the President. No money shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Fund of India except under the appropriation made by law. No money bill imposing tax shall be introduced in the Parliament except on the recommendation of the President, and such a bill shall not be introduced in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, no tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law, and Parliament can reduce or abolish a tax but cannot increase it. Yes, so Parliament can reduce or abolish a tax but cannot increase it. Yes, a money bill or finance bill dealing with taxation must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha and cannot be in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, in our previous lectures as well, we have mentioned this point, that is, a money bill or a finance bill dealing with taxation must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha and cannot be in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, vote on the demand for grants in the exclusive privilege of the Lok Sabha. Yes, and Rajya Sabha has no power. So, vote on the demand for grants is the exclusive privilege of the Lok Sabha, and Rajya Sabha has no power. The Rajya Sabha should return the money bill to the Lok Sabha within 14 days. Yes, the budget shall distinguish expenditure on revenue accounts from other expenditure. Yes, the expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India shall not be submitted to the vote of Parliament. However, it can be discussed by the Parliament. Yes. So a money bill or finance bill dealing with taxation must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha and cannot be in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, vote on the demand for grants is the exclusive privilege of the Lok Sabha, and the Rajya Sabha should not return the money bill to the Lok Sabha within 14 days, and the budget shall distinguish expenditure on revenue accounts from other expenditure. Now, after that, we'll see the procedure in enactment of budget. How the procedure is enacted. We'll see the procedure. So, there are 6 stages for the enactment of budget in the parliament. So, first important is presentation of budget, then general discussion, then scrutiny by departmental committees, then voting on demands for grants, yes, then passing of appropriation bill, and sixth stage is passing of finance bill. Yes, so these 6 stages are for the enactment of budget. Yes. Now, have this introduction of budget. So, conventionally, the budget is presented to the Lok Sabha by the finance minister on the last working day of February with a speech known as the budget speech. Yes, conventionally, the budget is presented to the Lok Sabha by finance minister on the last working day of February with a speech known as the budget speech. Yes, since 2017, the presentation of the budget has been advanced to 1st of February. Yes, since 2017, the presentation of the budget has been advanced to 1st of February. Yes, now the economic survey prepared by the finance ministry presented one day or a few days before the presentation of the budget, and this report is and indicates the status of the national economy. Yes, economic survey is the important document related with the presentation or status of the national economy. Yes, there shall be no discussion on the budget on the day on which it is presented to the House. Yes, the budget is laid before the Rajya Sabha, which can only discuss it and has no power to vote on the demands of grants or demands for grants. So the union budget is laid before the Rajya Sabha, which can only discuss it and has no power to vote on the demands for grants. Yes, the budget documents presented to the Parliament, which consist of budget speech, annual financial statement, demands for grants, appropriation bill, finance bill, expenditure bill, receipts budget, expenditure profile, memorandum explaining the provisions in the finance bill, budget at a glance, and outcome budget. Yes. So, the budget document presented to the Parliament, which consists of budget speech, annual financial statement, demands for grants, appropriation bill, finance bill, expenditure budget, receipt budget, expenditure profile, memorandum explaining the provisions in the finance bill, and budget at a glance, and outcome budget. Yes. Now, the statements mandated under the FRBM Act. Yes. Macroeconomic framework statement, fiscal policy strategy statement, and medium term fiscal policy statement. Yes, the statements mandated under the FRBM Act. Yes. So, macroeconomic framework statement, fiscal policy strategy statement, and medium term fiscal policy statement. Now, we'll see the general discussion. Yes, this general discussion, it begins with a few days after its presentation. It takes place in both the houses of parliament and lasts usually for 3 to 4 days. Yes, during this stage of general discussion, the Lok Sabha can discuss the budget as a whole and or on any question of principle involved therein. Yes, no cut motion can be moved, nor can the budget be submitted to the vote of the House. The Finance Minister has a general right of reply at the end of the discussion. Yes, the Finance Minister has a general right of reply at the end of the discussion. Yes, then scrutiny by departmental committees. Yes, post general discussion on the budget, the 24 departmental standing committees of Parliament, which examine and discuss in detail the demands for grants of the concerned ministers and prepare reports on them. Then, these reports are submitted to both the House of Parliament for consideration. Yes, the standing committee system established in 1993 makes parliamentary financial control over ministries and much more detailed, close in depth and comprehensive. Yes, the scrutiny by departmental committees, where post general discussion on the budget and the 24 departmental standing committees of Parliament, which examine and discuss in detail the demands for grants of the concerned ministers and prepare reports on them. Yes, these reports are submitted to both the House of Parliament for consideration. Yes, voting on demands for grants. So, voting of demands for grants is the exclusive privilege of the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha has no power of voting the demands. Voting is confined to the votable part of the budget. So, the expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India is not submitted to the vote. Yes, the demands are presented ministry wise. Each demand is voted separately by the Lok Sabha and a demand becomes a grant after it has been duly voted. Yes. So, voting on demands for grants. So, voting of demands for grants is the exclusive privilege of the Lok Sabha. Yes, where Rajya Sabha has no power of voting the demands, and voting is confined to the votable part of the budget, that is the expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, and it's submitted to the vote. Yes, the demands are presented ministry wise, and each demand is voted separately by the Lok Sabha, and a demand becomes a grant after it has been duly voted. Yes, then motions can also move to reduce any demand for grants. Yes, as we have learned, the proceeding motions last session. Now we'll see the motions can also move to reduce demands of grants on the budget. So such motions are called cut motion, which are three kinds. Yes, there are three types of cut motion. First is policy cut motion, second is economy cut motion, and third is token cut motion. Yes, policy cut motion, it represents the disapproval of the policy underlying the demand. Then it states that the amount of the demand be reduced to rupees 1. The members have an option to advocate an alternative policy. Yes, policy cut motion, which represents the disapproval of the policy underlying the demand. It states that the amount of the demand be reduced to rupees 1. The matters have an option to advocate an alternative policy. Economic cut motion, it represents the economy that can be affected in the proposed expenditure, it states that the amount of the demand be reduced by a specified amount. Yes, then token cut motion. It ventilates a specific grievance that is within the sphere of responsibility of the government of India, and it states that the amount of the demand be reduced by rupees 100. Yes, which is in token cut motion. Yes. After that, conditions for cut motion. So it should relate to one demand only. Then it should be clearly expressed and should not contain arguments. Cut motion should be confined to one specific matter. It should not make suggestions for the amendment or repeal of existing laws. It should not refer to a matter that is not the primary concern of the union government. It should not relate to the expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India. It should not release to a matter that is under adjudication by a court, and it should not raise a question of privilege. Yes, these are the conditions for cut motion. Yes, it should not review or revive discussion on a matter on which a discussion has been taken in the same session. Yes, it should not be or it should not relate to trivial matter. Yes, it should not seek to raise a discussion on matter pending before any statutory tribunal or statutory authority which performing judicial, quasi-judicial functions or any commission or court of inquiry. Yes. Then significance of cut motion. Yes. Facilitating the initiation of concentrated discussion on a specific demand for grant. Upholding the principle of responsible government by probing the activities of the government. Then passage of motion by the Lok Sabha amounts to the expression of want of parliamentary confidence in the government and may lead to its resignation. Yes. Now, issues with cut motion. So, the cut motion, sorry, so the cut motion does not have much utility in practice. They are only moved and discussed in the House but not passed as the government enjoys majority support. Frequent recourse to guillotine, that is, Speaker puts all the remaining demands to vote and dispose them whether they have been discussed by the members or not. Yes, then passing of appropriation bill. Yes. So the constitution states that no money shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Fund of India except under appropriation made by law. An appropriation bill is introduced to provide for the appropriation out of the Consolidated Fund of India, and all money required to meet the grants were voted by the Lok Sabha, and the expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. Yes. Then the government cannot withdraw money from the Consolidated Fund till the enactment of the Appropriation Act. Amendment cannot be proposed to the appropriation bill in either house of the parliament that will vary the amount or altering the destination of any grant voted or of varying the amount of any expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. Yes, the appropriation bill becomes the Appropriation Act after it is assented to by the President, and Appropriation Act authorizes the payments from the Consolidated Fund of India. Yes, Appropriation Act authorizes the payments from the Consolidated Fund of India. Yes. Now we'll see vote on account. Yes, friends, the passing an Appropriation Act takes time and usually goes on till the end of April. However, the government needs money to carry on its normal activities after 31st March, that is the end of financial year. To resolve this, the Constitution has authorized the Lok Sabha to make any grant in advance in respect to the estimated expenditure for a part of the financial year. Yes, it is generally granted for 2 months for an amount equivalent to the 1/6 of the total estimation. Yes, this is the vote on account. Yes. Now we'll see the passing of finance bill. Yes, the finance bill is introduced to give effect to the financial proposals of the government of India for the following year. Yes, the Finance Act legalized the income side of the budget and completes the process of the enactment of the budget. Yes. So, it is subjected to all the conditions applicable to a money bill. The amendments can be moved in the case of the finance bill. Finance bill must be enacted, that is passed by the parliament and assented to the president within 75 days. Yes. So, charged expenditure. Yes. Expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India, and this charged expenditure is not votable by the parliament. It can only be discussed by the parliament. Yes, the charged expenditure. Yes, expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India, and this charged expenditure is not votable by the parliament and it can only be discussed by the parliament. Expenditure made from the Consolidated Fund of India, and this type of expenditure has to be voted by the parliament. List of the expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India were emoluments and allowances of the president and other expenditure relating to his office, salaries and allowances of the chairman and the deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Yes, and the speaker and the deputy speaker of the Rajya Sabha. Correction. List of the expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India, which includes emoluments and allowances of the president and other expenditure relating to his office. Second, salaries and allowances of the chairman and the deputy chairperson of the Rajya Sabha and the speaker and the deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha. Third, salaries, allowances, yes, salaries, allowances and pensions of the judges of the Supreme Court and pensions of the judges of the high courts. Then salary allowances and pensions of the CAG, Com- Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Yes. Then salaries, allowances and pension of the chairman and members of the Union Public Service Commission, administrative expenses of the Supreme Court, the office of the CAG and the Union Public Service Commission. Yes, which includes the salaries, allowances, pensions of the persons serving in these offices. Yes, the debt charges for which the government of India is liable. Yes, including interest, seeking fund charges and redemption charges and other expenditure relating to the raising of loans and the service and redemption of debt. Yes. Any sum required to satisfy any judgment, decree, or award of any court or arbitral tribunal. Yes, any other expenditure declared by the Parliament to be so charged. Yes. So, these are the passing of finance bill, charged expenditure, then list of expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India, and then we'll see the issues with budgeting in India. Yes, friends, Indian budget is by and large deficit oriented. Indian budget is weak in public participation and involvement, less inclusive, limited transparency and accountability with respect to budgeting, less observance and disregard to FRBM Act 2003. Although implementing gender-based budgeting, more needs to be done to implement it in letter and spirit. Yes. So, the Constitution of India provides for the three kinds of funds, that is Consolidated Fund of India, which is described under Article 266, then Public Account of India, Article 266, Contingency Fund of India, Article 267. Yes, we'll discuss all these funds in detail in the next session. So, just have a recap what we have covered in today's session. Yes, friends, we have started with budget in Parliament. Yes, the annual financial statement, which is mentioned in Article 112. Then, annual budgeting. Yes, our annual budgeting in India was started in 1860. Yes, the term budget has nowhere been used in the constitution, rather refers to the budget as the annual financial statement under Article 112. Yes, this is estimated receipts and expenditure of the government of India in a financial year. Yes, normally we are calculating financial year, that is from 1st April and ends on the 31st March on the following year. Yes, the budget contains estimates of revenue and capital receipts, ways and means to raise the revenue, estimates of expenditure, details of the actual receipts and expenditure of the closing financial year and the reasons for any deficit or surplus in the year, and economic and financial policy of the coming year. Yes. So before 2017, the government of India had two budgets, that is railway budget and general budget. Yes, in 1921, before our independence, the Ackworth Committee report, which suggested railway budget separately from the general budget. Yes, in this Ackworth Committee report suggestions is to make separation of railway budget from the general budget, and from 1924 onwards, two budgets was presented by the government of India till 2017. Yes, in 2017, the central government merged the railway budget into the general budget, and now we are calling this budget is the union budget. Then we have covered constitutional provisions with respect to budget. Yes, the President shall, in respect of every financial year, cause to be laid before both the Houses of Parliament a statement of estimated receipts and expenditure of the Government of India for that year. Yes, the expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India shall not be submitted to the vote of Parliament. However, it can be discussed by the Parliament. Yes, then we have covered the procedure in enactment of budget. So the budget goes through six stages in the Parliament, that is presentation of budget, general discussion, scrutiny by departmental committees, voting on demands for grants, passing of appropriation bill, passing of finance bill, then introduction of budget. Yes, so conventionally the budget is presented to the Lok Sabha by the finance minister. Yes, the budget is laid before the Rajya Sabha, which can only discuss it and has no power to vote on the demands for grants. Yes, the budget documents presented to the Parliament, which consist of budget speech, annual financial statement, demands for grants, appropriation bill, finance bill, expenditure budget, receipts budget, expenditure profile, memorandum explaining the provisions in the finance bill, budget at a glance, and outcome budget. Yes, statement mandated under FRBM Act like macroeconomic framework statement, fiscal policy strategy statement, and medium term fiscal policy statement. Yes, then we have covered general discussion, scrutiny by departmental committees, and post general discussion on the budget. Yes, the scrutiny by the departmental committees, where we have covered the 24 departmental standing committees of Parliament which examine the and discuss in the detailed demands for grants of the concerned ministers and prepare reports on them. Then voting on demands for grants. Yes, so voting of demands for grants in the exclusive privilege of the Lok Sabha, which means Rajya Sabha has no power of voting the demands. Then we have studied about three types of cut motion. Yes, policy cut motion, economic cut motion, and token cut motion. Then conditions for cut motion we have covered. Yes, it should be related to one demand only. It should be clearly expressed and should not contain arguments. Yes, it should not relate to matter that is under adjudication by a court. Yes, then we have covered significance of cut motion, then issues with cut motion, passing of appropriation bill. Yes, then vote on account. Yes, then passing of finance bill. Then charged expenditure, and we have covered list of the expenditure charged upon the consolidated fund of India. Yes, then issues with budgeting in India. Yes, now in the next lecture we'll continue with the funds, that is three kinds of funds: consolidated fund of India, public account of India, and contingency fund of India. Yes, Article 266, Article 266 and Article 267 respectively. Yes friends, so you can revise what we have studied. Yes, in today's session. Yes, so do not forget to join our Telegram group using this link, and you can use referral code RBI Life to get 10% discount in our paid courses. Yes, please like, share and subscribe the videos of Unacademy, and also hit the bell icon for the notification for regular lectures, so you can enroll yourself for Unacademy Combat, which is scheduled on upcoming Sunday in the morning 11 o'clock. And also try to evaluate yourself through our free test series, which will provide complete general studies and current affairs section. Yes friends, that's it for the today's session. See you in the next lecture. All the best. Take care.